Well, while we're waiting, happy 2021, everyone. I know we were like, "Ooh, 2020 is over," but 2021 came in with a little bang too. So we'll see how this year plays out. Um, I have a lot in store for the Black Author Spotlight, which and oh, there's our guest. Hello, welcome, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So I was just talking to people about the Black Author Spotlight and, just sharing a little bit about what it is and why I started it. So I'll do that really quickly while we allow or while we wait for some people to join us. So with the Black Author Spotlight, if you are watching for the first time, this was just something that I came up with randomly because I knew so many people that were writing and publishing books, and I felt like they needed to be celebrated. I wanted to share their work, and I also wanted to support. We don't read enough. There's so much information out there. Our peers are putting the information out there, and we're not reading, and we're not celebrating Black authors. And so that was the whole premise behind Black Author Spotlight. And I have a lot of friends and family that are doing this. And so it's been cool to connect with people in my own personal circles and just allow them to share with the world what it is that they're doing. So that's the spiel on that. I'll have a lot of guests coming this year I'm excited about. But tonight, we have a childhood friend of mine and family. We have Kamal Shabazz. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank
And
you.
I'm
You.
really excited about this because, again, this is a childhood friend. It's been great to just watch Kamal grow and just educate the people, educate communities. It's been really dope. And so I'm happy to have him here to talk to us about all things credit, businesses and savings and investing, all of that great stuff. He recently wrote an ebook called Urban Credit: What the World Means to You. It's really straight to the point. A lot of books tend to take time to build on what they're trying to get to. You can get bored with it, but this
Yeah.
this ebook gets straight to the point, and I just love the gems that he's dropping. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. So, welcome, Kamal. Tell the people about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Carmel, like my wonderful friend Carmel has said. I'm from Linden, New Jersey.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm a I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a small business owner. I own a few companies, and I like emphasize on having good credit and maintaining that. Like it's just not like how these companies are popping up with credit repair gimmicks and stuff like that. Like, nah, it's a lifestyle. Like, it's a status symbol. You keep your credit good, your life should be a little bit better.
Yeah,
Having
yes,
bad credit costs a lot of money.
it does. I so speaking of credit, I probably started working on my credit, I would say like 2000, maybe like 2013. um my credit was like really really bad. I didn't know because I didn't have credit cards in college. I just wasn't into what is your credit score, what does your credit look like, so I never paid it any mind. But when I started looking in like 2013 and my credit score was like four something, I was like, I'm gonna be broke forever. I'm gonna be poor
Yeah,
forever. So for the people that feel how I felt in that moment, looking at their credit score and it's not up to par,
yeah.
what advice would you give them? Like, what's a good starting point for them to start building on that?
First, you should see why it's so low, because majority of times that the people that I've helped and people that I had conversations with, a lot of them just don't have any credit. Period. Like their credit profile is nothing. Nothing's there.
Mm,
Or maybe like their parents might have had like a bill in their name as a kid and it went to collections or something like that. Like
yeah,
it just
that's
never
messed
happened.
up.
Yeah, but it happens. It's very it's very common for that to happen. So it's like I would say just look at your credit report and not like Credit Karma. Go to actually like the Experian.com website, TransUnion website. Go to the actual credit bureau websites and request your credit report. You get a free
Mhm.
credit report every year, so you should look at it.
Okay, that is a good starting point, and that is what I did as well. Like I was like, I had all these miscellaneous, and the thing with my credit, I had all these miscellaneous things on my report, but
Yeah.
they were also things that had closed, but they were just remaining on my report. And so I had
Oh
to
man.
go, I went through like another company to have them remove it off of my account because it was like
Uh,
either it was paid or it was closed, but it was just sitting there as a negative account. And
yeah.
once it was removed, then my credit score started changing and shifting. So it's very different now, thank God. Um, but I came a long way. So with the pandemic and everything happening, a lot of people are trying to work on their credit. Um, and people that are working on their credit or do have credit may not have the most knowledge around like how to maintain that. And so something that I read in your book, you talked about how it's important for you to make sure that you're spending maybe 30 or under 30% and making sure that before you purchase something that you know you can afford it. Can you just talk a little bit? That was one of my favorite parts, by the way. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Okay, like the affordability thing, that's big. Like I had a conversation with my cousin the other day. We was because I'm in the process of car shopping, so like I'm telling him what kind of cars I want. He's telling me what kind of cars he want, but then we're talking about like maintenance and what's the upkeep of a car. Like that's
Yeah.
something that you have to put in like affordability. Even with
Okay.
like designer clothes, like if you buy designer clothes, you have to be able to afford dry cleaning. So if you
True.
think if you want a Mercedes Benz or a Audi, BMW, you have to afford those oil changes, those brake pads. Like you can't bring those type of cars to down the street Joe that's gonna fix it on the corner.
That maintenance is no joke.
Yeah,
BMW, Infinity, that maintenance is crazy.
yeah, these are foreign cars, so they take special like tools, some of them, and stuff like that to even just to do something simple like change a tire. So it's
Yeah.
like you have to put everything in perspective when you're buying things. Like when you spending money on something, like think about how many hours it took for you to actually make that money. Like
Yeah.
most majority of people make between like what 15 $20 an hour. Then you
Hmm.
have people that's starting to get more money that makes over $20 an hour. So it's like if you have something that like a pair of sneakers for instance, the average men's sneakers is like 220. That's what a
Yes.
pair of J's
Not
cost.
expensive.
That's like a full day's work for somebody who was making like 15 $20 a day. Like that's a
Right.
full day's work. Are those sneakers really worth it? And then if they are worth it, is it really worth buying 4 or 5 pairs of them?
It's
It's
true.
like it's crazy. You gotta really think about that. And then if you do have a credit card, you're gonna put that on your credit card. Like, is the interest worth it? Because like if you put something on the credit card, it's gonna come with interest. It's just not free money. So
Yeah.
it's like now those 220 sneakers might on somebody with bad credit with one of them starter cards, a 220 pair of sneakers might cost like end up costing like 275 or 300.
Right. So you end
So
up paying a whole lot more than what it is.
yeah, yeah, and to touch the utilization thing, like in my book, I put 30% to like keep all your credit cards under, but I really advise like you shouldn't spend more than like 10%. So like
Okay.
the average person has like maybe like for a high limit $1,000 that
Hmm.
that I've seen. They have $1,000 credit limit. If you put that pair of sneakers on your credit card and you can't pay that off within that month, that means that is going to be what 275 that reports on your credit.
Mm,
So that's almost at the whole 30% right there, and it's just
right.
a pair of sneakers. Now, if you put a pair of sneakers and a pair of jeans on, now
It's a
your
wrap.
credit score is dropping over like a simple outfit. So
Yeah.
it's like you have to really be intent with what you're spending money on and what you're doing it for. Because a lot of people, it's not an Instagram picture, some likes and everything.
It's not worth
It's
it.
not worth it.
It's
So
not. Because
yeah,
people liking and liking, and you may feel some type of validation from that. But when you go back and you look at your credit, or you try to go get that new apartment or try to get that new car with a low interest, they're either going to tell you no, or your cost is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what really like made me say, you know what, I have to fix my credit. Because I remember at the time I had a roommate when I first moved to DC, and I wanted to get my own apartment because she had just become pregnant. Her boo was trying to do their own thing. So they was just like, what you about to do? So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get my own apartment. And I went apartment searching because everybody was like, your score's too low. Your score's too low. You didn't get approved. That killed me because I'm like, one, I don't like being told no. And then
Exactly.
it was just like, be quiet. My fiance over here like, I don't like being, I don't like being told no, but then I needed somewhere to stay. And my
Yeah.
credit score was hindering me from finding somewhere to stay. And that's when I was like, all right, I gotta fix this ASAP. You
Yeah.
know, just not being able to get what you want. Unfortunately, that's how it is. That's how America's ran. You don't have good credit, you're not going to get what you want, or you're going to pay twice the amount.
Yeah, because it's like,
What happened? You good?
uh, yeah. Can you hear me? I think
Yeah,
a delay went.
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, no, it's a delay now for some reason.
It might pick back up. Sometimes it does that, but it'll like jump, I guess.
Okay, maybe I should hold on.
Is it delay for you or
It
on my end?
says it says, do you want to leave your watch party?
What? No,
Because a watch party, that's not the same as what we're doing, right?
I don't know what a watch party is. Facebook got a lot of new things. So,
Okay, I'm back.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry about
Whew,
that.
don't scare me like that. All right, we was on the
Yeah,
road. Okay.
yeah. But now back to what you're saying, like the interest rates and everything, and then actually being able to afford like apartments and stuff while I co-sign, like that's big on being an adult and being like independent.
Yes.
Because it's
Yeah.
like back to the cars I was talking about, like the Mercedes, like when you see those commercials for well
Mhm.
qualified buyers, like they're giving people with 805 credit scores like 0.9 interest on like
Wow.
a 90 to $100,000 car, to whereas if you even have like, let's say a 725 or 775, like that's pretty good, but
Hmm.
you're still going to get like a 2.99 interest rate. That's going to still like, that's going to
Calculate.
make them payments like a
Yeah,
couple $100 difference, and it it costs to have bad credit.
it does. And if you are already struggling to make the payment by itself, that interest is gonna be, it's gonna kick you in the butt.
Yeah,
Plus
it's even,
keeping up with maintenance on the car.
yeah, yeah, tires, everything.
So the way I am, I always look at the root of any circumstance, anything that I discuss with people. So we're talking about this stuff, and I would say I'm still getting there. I would say I'm pretty educated with the help of, well, with just like my own determination and the help of my fiance. Like, I've been getting better with finances, right? And being more disciplined with it because I know what I want for my future. And so
Yeah,
I know like credit, businesses, saving, all of that stuff matters. There was one point where I didn't care about having a savings. I was like, savings? I don't need a savings. What's that? Like, I'm spending
yeah,
all my money now.
yeah.
Not
I've
like
been
that
there.
anymore. I'm not like that anymore. I do feel like you should enjoy life, but still have that emergency backup.
Yeah,
But what I always ask people is like, okay, we know this and we're educated. What about the people who don't? Do you think it's generational why we don't learn this information when we're young? Because I don't know about you, but I didn't learn about credit and savings and all of that from when I was young from my family. And I'm sure nobody taught it to them.
yeah. Like when I was coming up, my mother, my mother, she had a good job, whatever, pretty average job, like medium income. And when I think I was like 10 years old or 11 years old, she wanted to give my sister and me our own bedroom, so she wanted to buy a house. And
Okay.
I went with her through that whole process of buying a house, and she started showing me like credit cards and credit scores and
Wow.
importance of that. And it was eye opening because I'm like, they really about to give you this house for this much money, and like they're just putting it all on the line and making like they actually trust you that you're gonna pay for this. And she's like,
Yeah.
yes, credit score is everything. So I'm like, oh wow. But then it's like at the end, like towards my older teenage years, like my mother lost her job, and
Mm,
then it was like her credit score like plummet. Like
wow.
couldn't co-sign for like student loans for me. She couldn't do any of that. So then I'm like that's when my brain clicked. Like I have to own my own company. Like I don't care what
Yeah.
it is, but nobody's gonna tell me when, where, and how I can make money and eat and feed my family because
Yeah.
that took a toll on the entire family when one of your parents loses their job, and it's like, what
Yeah.
could you do as a teenager? So
No, that's thank you for sharing that. Like that, personal moment. Like first, I commend your mom for you at the age of 10 for her actually taking you along through that process and showing you those things. I think a lot of times we look at it like, oh, they're just a kid, they don't need to be in grown folks business, and we don't you know how that go, and we
yeah,
don't expose them to that stuff early on, and so we grow up to be adults who don't know it, or never been exposed to it. And a lot of a lot of other races, they do that from a very early age with their children. The Koreans, just Asians overall,
yes,
white people, everybody does that. They
yeah,
expose their children to financial stability and just financial literacy at a very early age, but we don't do that. Like,
yeah. Like
I
I
didn't
think my
learn that
mom did
stuff.
that. I think my mother did that a lot because like I like sneakers and like constructs and everything. It was like once I got over a certain age, it was like you're in men's now. So those $90 pair of sneakers, $80 pair of sneakers, now they like 120, 150. That's real money. So she used to tell me like, okay, you might not be able to get it now, but you
Yeah,
have to wait a few weeks and
yeah,
then you get it because I have to pay this bill. I have to keep up with this. I have to put this in savings. So my mother was real honest with me with everything in life. So that's why now like I want to be honest with everybody else because like the people I grew up around, like some of them don't have this knowledge, and I'll be looking at myself like I'm not the smartest person in the room all the time, really ever, whatever. But it's like
say
some of
that.
the knowledge I have is not common, so I'm like, all right, we gonna put that out there then. Like I'm gonna
Gotcha.
use my platform to put it out there.
Now that's and I commend you for doing that because people aren't, and the people that are doing it, our peers aren't listening. So someone that, for example, I always post books, right? So I can post a book. It can be a book that several people have read, but if someone from the hood sees the book and they don't feel like it's relatable, they're not going to pick it up and read it, right?
Yeah,
And it's not because they're ignorant, it's not anything like that, but you are only going to be attracted to the things that are relatable. So for someone like you, people that have grown up with you, people that see you, know what you're doing, they know your character, they're more inclined to listen to you versus some white guy who wrote a book
yeah,
about how to make money and he a billionaire right now. Like they're just more
yeah,
inclined to listen to you. So I just want to say thank you for doing something like this for the people like us that grew up together, or just other people that are listening or may watch this, because we need it. Black
yeah,
people, we don't, when it comes to financial literacy, we don't practice it, we don't know it enough, and we don't share it enough. So
yeah. Because it's
um
really basic.
yeah,
It's
well,
no tricks. It's not. I'm not gonna say basic, but it's no tricks to it. It's no magic to it. It's like if you just be responsible and
discipline.
honest with yourself. Yeah, discipline is the like.
Yeah,
That's one thing I had a problem with when I first started getting like big checks or big money. Like it's like, do I really want to blow this or it's like.
right.
But then I go back and thinking like that, it was a time where I ain't really have nothing. I'm not gonna say I was ever starving or anything, no roof over my head, but it's a time where my
Yeah.
pockets was on empty. So it's like I always remember those times.
Yep. I think about like when I was in college and, we take out school loans or whatever, but you get that refund check.
Yeah.
And the smart thing would have been to take your refund check and put it back towards that loan. Listen, everybody, I don't know anybody that did that, because we all were taking the refund check and was like, all right, what we doing? Where we going? What
Buying
party
cars,
coming
taking
up? What
trips.
outfit? Taking trips? Like,
Yeah.
and then, you talked about this in your book too. Then when you get out of college, it's like, okay, you don't have the experience to get the job that you really want. And now
Yeah.
you're just working a regular job and not making the money that you want. But now you have all these school loans to pay, and you're in debt before you even get into your career.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
it's a trick. They just really, and don't get me wrong, I wouldn't change my college experience because I met amazing people and the networking that I learned was very beneficial. But man, my school loans are out of this world.
I could imagine. I had close people that went to college and everything. And that's one thing that I wish I would have went to college, away to college, and instead of county college, to get that experience and meet new people, that network. Like that network is big because it's like you could be roommates with somebody from across the country, and it's like you always have like that relationship.
Hmm.
When you just in a county, it's like you're staying local, and it's like you might keep a local mind frame, and it's not like
I feel
it's
you.
not, yeah. And coming from
Yeah.
the Northeast and everything, it's like New Jersey, New York, it's
Yeah.
like everything is like standoffish. It wasn't until I started traveling down south, the Midwest and everything where people was really nice. Like nice. Like you always gotta deal with an attitude up here, son. But people was really nice everywhere
Yeah.
else.
That's just how we are. People still say that y'all so mean. Jersey, New York, y'all so mean. My fiance is from North Carolina. He's like, y'all don't smile, y'all don't say hi, y'all don't. And I'm like, look, that's just how we are. I mean, I don't know what it is. But
Yeah.
when we're talking about like income, how many sources of income would you say a person should have?
I would say as many as possible.
Okay.
I say as many as possible, but it also goes by like your gut and your like mind frame because being a business owner and everything, like because of social media and Instagram, everybody bigs it up and overemphasizes everybody should own their own company and everything. And
Yeah.
honestly, no, they should not. Most people, most people, they're not good with finances. They're not good with a little bit of money. So if they make more money, they're just gonna make more bad decisions.
Mm,
And then it's like most people can't gut like taking losses
yeah.
or even taking cuts and having to pay employees. Like for instance, when I started scaling my trucking company, like with my second truck or whatever, I had a really hard time finding a stable driver. So
Mm.
it's like this truck is like a $60,000 truck. So I didn't pay $60,000 cash. I signed and pulled it off the lot. All I did was pay insurance. So, but it's a note and insurance that has to come with it every month. So, like that's an asset. But at the end of the day, if it's not making me any money, it's a
A liability.
liability.
Yes.
And it's like you can go like I seen with this pandemic and everything, a lot of trucking companies went under because they might have missed 3 weeks of work. And it's like 3 weeks of work and your whole company's done and over with. What
Wow.
we're doing with that money? It's like you really have to be like disciplined, save, and have credit because credit is like my lifeline. Like I
Yeah.
was like it was this what was the book? This was like 2008, 2009. I was reading like one of them like a book. I don't know if it was Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was one of them books that I read or whatever.
Okay. Think and Grow Rich, probably one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they said like you could buy property with no money, this and that. So me, I'm like, you can buy this with no money. So it's like I started thinking about it. And then I tried and I'm looking into stuff and it's like it's impossible. These people are just trying to sell programs and everything.
Mm,
But then I realized like they were talking about with credit and it's really with your business credit, like corporate credit. That's how like that's how I bought my trucks and everything with corporate credit. Corporate credit and personal credit is two different things. But your business credit is like it's based off of your personal credit for like the first year or so until your company really starts showing income and everything like that. And back
Hmm.
to my trucking company, it was like I went almost like I would say close to $40,000 in debt just off this second asset that I bought. And it's
Hmm.
like it took me months, almost a year to like dig the company back in profitability over that. And it was something hard. And a lot of people can't stomach that. So that's why I say like it takes a lot of like nerve, self-discipline, and confidence, and to know that you can keep this business running. Because when when you're your own boss, it's like if you want to sleep all day,
You can sleep all day.
yeah, you can sleep all day, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to eat or anything. You're not going to be paying your bills. Like,
Right, right.
so it takes self. You have to be self-driven. It has to be like a lot of things to make a successful business owner. Because most companies don't make their third and fifth year, so it's a lot.
And that's, we have to know the knowledge behind it. So a lot of times people start businesses and they don't learn ahead of time.
Yeah,
But you said something really important, and I'm just gonna do a quick plug. We're gonna continue, but I want to plug real quick. So these are my notes. It's like 2 pages. And if you joined later on after the intro, Kamal's book is called Urban Credit, and it is on Amazon. You can purchase it there. It's an ebook, very straightforward. It's not a long read. It doesn't take a long time to build on the point. It gets right to the point, 5 chapters, and it gives so much detail, so many gems. And one of the things you just said, and I wrote it down, it's important to build personal credit before starting a business. And so, for people that are just starting businesses or thinking about it, you might want to pick up the ebook to find out why
yeah,
it's important to build your personal credit first. So, we just talked about credit, and if you want to start a business, you want to get your credit up to par in order to do so. But yeah, so we can continue. Um, so if you're watching, go ahead to Amazon and pick up the book.
yes,
um with the pandemic happening, everybody and their mama was jumping into the stock market, right? So
yeah,
like my fiance, he's been telling me for the longest, like, download this app, invest in this, invest in that. I'm just like, this was before the pandemic. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's like gambling. I'm not losing my money. I'm not, I was just really
yeah,
against it. And then once the pandemic happened and, we started talking more and I had a little more time on my hands to actually look into it, I got interested in it. And he
yeah,
started teaching me what to do. So I'm like, okay. And I started seeing my money grow. And I was like, wait a minute. I just put
yeah,
this money in here yesterday. You mean to tell me I just made X amount of dollars in a day?
yeah.
So I just kind of, became obsessed. So I know in your book, you talk about making sure that you take a few years to learn about it and make smart decisions. I'll be honest here. I didn't read any books. I didn't go and learn. Why would you say it's so important to do that first before you just jump out there?
Because it's like you can lose the shirt off your back. You can lose absolutely everything. Like for one wrong business move, like you can lose everything. You could go into hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt or anything. Like for instance, with the trucking business, I've been in trucking now for I believe 10 years, 9 or 10 years. I've been in trucking, but I was a company driver at first for a few years, and started researching it. I'm talking to owner operators. I'm talking to fleet owners, and I'm just realizing like the cost, the profit, and everything over years. And I'm researching using a net and everything. So it was like when I was ready, it was like, okay, I know exactly what I want to do. I will know how much it's going to take to start it. I know what it's going to take to operate it and run it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just it. I have to work it. But also for like now really my real estate investments, it's like real estate is my passion. Like I was stuck in the house when I was about like what 18, 19, and a little bit in my 20th year. So it was like it was on one of those channels. It was called Flip My House. I'm pretty sure a lot of people heard of it,
Mm-hmm.
Flip My House.
Oh,
But that became what is it? HGTV used to come on.
oh Lord.
So
HGTV. Okay.
yeah. but that was like my favorite show for like 3 or 4 years straight. Like that was the only time I actually had to sit down and actually I got to watch TV and just sit down, be a couch potato or whatever. So that became my favorite TV show. But the only thing with that TV show is the only time you've seen black people or minority people was when they're doing workers, like when you're doing construction workers and everything. The actual people, the investors and everything, they were all like either Caucasian or very old Asian people. There were
Okay.
very few black people, but they were really up in age, like in their 40s and 50s.
Okay.
So I'm like, I want to do this in my 20s. How are they doing it? So that goes back to what I was talking about before with like the seminars and everything. You could buy houses with no money down and everything. It sparked a bulb in my head, and that's when like I really started diving deep into my credit. Like I had got like maybe like 2 or 3 credit cards, and I was like, I have to keep this perfect. Like
Yeah.
my immediate family, my sister, my mother, they know like I've been doing my credit since I've been like 19, and
Wow.
now I have it where I really wanted it at. Like I'm good, but it took a long time. Like, and to go back in the real estate thing, it was like I was 18 and 19 when I started researching it. I
Mm.
didn't get like my first property until I'm what 30. I'm 33 now, so until I was
Wow.
32. I was 32, so that's like almost like what 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like 12, 11 years before I got my first property, and it's like even with that, that was just like the traditional buy. I bought a fixer upper, did a lot of the work by myself or whatever with family members or whatever. But now it's like now I see like people buying like bandos and
Yeah.
that you need to be complete rehabs or whatever. And my boy, he's an architect. Shout out to Bass Studios and my boy Sean. He's an architect and he showed me like how to do a house from the ground up, and it's not that hard.
Mm.
And like when you have good credit and good business credit, it doesn't take like a large amount of money to do it. Like people might be intimidated and might say it takes like 100,000, 200,000. It really doesn't. Like you can do a whole entire house with maybe $50,000, and just because if you have good credit, they'll give you the loan combined with the construction and
Hmm.
the actual buy of the house, and the house I have will be back secure for the loan. So it's like credit ties into everything.
So thank you for sharing that. I like honestly, I think you like you know a lot about this, and I think you should really start doing like seminars yourself and really start whole like think about how dope that would be if you let's say if, I mean a lot of people don't live in Linden anymore, but even
Yeah,
still
yeah, yeah,
that's still our hometown, right? So if you
yeah,
went back to Linden and did a seminar at home for our community, how many people you would be educating. And sometimes you may not educate every single person in the room. It may be like 2 or 3, but that 2 or 3 or share it with somebody else. But I think you should really consider educating people about it through your own seminars, because these are things that we don't know, and we count ourselves out immediately because we're like, I don't have money, I don't have credit, and I know I won't be qualified, or I don't know how to do it before
yeah.
we even know what the process is.
Yeah.
So
I was told by a lot of older guys from the neighborhoods and everything, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't get that. And
wow.
it's like that fueled me to do it even more.
Isn't it sad how people telling you that you can't or you won't is what motivates you the most? Like
Yeah,
I just think about my stories, you just saying that, like a lot of what I've done, the success that I've had, because my success for someone else may not be success. Same thing with you, but for me and where I feel I'm successful, most of it came from people telling me that I wouldn't, people telling me that I can't, and I took that and charged with it, you know? So I'm happy
even
you took that and didn't internalize it in a way that you didn't, and you
yeah,
actually stood up from it. So
even
shout out to you.
thank you, thank you. Even with this book, like this book, I wrote this book maybe about 5 years ago.
For
To be honest,
real.
I wrote this book about 5 years ago. I
Wow.
got it transcribed in the ebook format about, I would say, a little bit over a year ago. It was my wife. She's in the comments. Shout out Sadia. Yeah,
Is that,
she
oh, that's
actually
her?
told me. Yes.
Hey, hey, cousin.
Yeah, she told me. She was just like, we were just sitting here talking in the living room, and she was like, "What are you waiting for? Just put it out." Good. I'm like,
Yeah, see, wife, see, we know we gonna push y'all. We gonna push y'all out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Nah,
So it's
that's
just
good.
like, I just did it. And to go back with the seminar thing, I'm gonna really think about that. But it was like coming up the way I came up, public speaking and everything. Like, this is a first for me. Like,
You're
you made it
doing
because
great. Are you serious? Come on. You're
this
doing
is
great.
big. This is a big step for me because I don't know. I'm not used to talking to people. Well, I'm used to talking to people I know. And
Yeah.
it's probably, this is why I'm comfortable, because we grew up together. So I
Yeah.
know you, but a room full of strangers or unfamiliar faces like that, I may get, I don't know, but
Well,
something I could work on.
yeah, I would say work on it. I would say, okay, so maybe start with social media, like maybe once a month or once a week. I don't know. Do a live video and just, you have a huge following. Tell people like, hey, I'm gonna be talking about X, Y, and Z today. If you're interested, just hop on my live. Again, make it informal. People, it doesn't have to be this whole formal thing, and just have a
Yeah,
conversation with people about what you know, because this is a wealth of knowledge, and
yeah,
it's no reason why it should go to waste, you know?
exactly. Yeah,
But I could just like keep talking about a bunch of stuff because I took so many notes. But is there like anything that, oh, one of my favorite things that you talked or you said in the book was like charging the elders to inform the young about this information. And that's
yeah,
very important. Like the adults, we have to expose our young to this stuff. Unfortunately, we know it's not taught in school, at least not our schools. Like
yeah,
our kids don't learn about finances and credit and all that stuff. So the elders have to share this information, and at this point we're on our way to being the elders, so we have
yeah.
to share this
I'm uncle.
information.
I'm
Yeah.
Uncle Carmel now. So,
Yeah, like I was
but
talking to my nephew, and I'm asking him like, what's your plan? He's about to get out of high school, and what do you want to do? And I just start breaking things down to him, because that at this point that's my duty, like
yeah,
that's my lineage, that's my nephew, that is my family. I have to share that with him. So
exactly.
yeah.
And that ties into like credit, because sharing your credit, like back in the days, you have like aunties, uncles, and everything that got the nice house, nice cars, and everything, good
Yeah,
credit, but they don't really do anything with it. Like,
that's true.
like when you're somebody older like us and you have younger generations, you can add them to your credit cards, and that will help build, like, piggyback off of your good credit. They
Yep.
don't have to have a credit card and stuff like that, but
Yep. Yep.
add them. That's like a major step. Like, I plan on doing that with my daughter. Like
Okay.
my daughter, she's gonna be a trust fund baby. I like
Aw.
like I plan on making her a trust fund baby. I plan on helping her every step of the way, like in all the ways that I wish I had a step, because
Yeah.
it's like, coming from urban America, it's like we are already like below poverty lines. Like, people don't realize that if your household isn't bringing in over, like, what is it? I think 35,000 or something like that a year.
You're considered poor.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you can have all the Gucci, Louis, and everything, but you're poor, really.
Yeah.
Like, you're really poor, and it's like, it doesn't take it doesn't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't take no thieving, anything illegal to do. Like, you can do this stuff. You just have to be patient and stick to a plan, and you can really pull your whole family out of poverty and like create generational wealth, like with life insurance, stocks, like you were talking about. You can pass those things down. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people, they don't. I think they be selfish, or it's like they be having that PTSD that they're not used to having money. So with the
Yeah.
little bit of money they get, like, they
They
just want
blow
to burn
it.
through it. Yeah, and it's not worth it, because it's like $100,000 is not a lot of money. Like, that's really like
For yourself.
nothing. like it's a lot of like I've been reading these charts like since I've been having a lot more time to research and be home and everything. I've been reading charts like the wealth gap, like the net worth of an average I would say white person is like $250,000,
Wow.
where the average net worth of a black person is like in negative. It's really
Yeah.
negative. It's no net worth or nothing. And you're passing that poverty down to your kids and everything like that. It don't be worth it. Like
Yeah.
I was a kid, like I liked all the fast cars, all the nice clothes and everything. Like I'm in a position where I could get a really nice car, like somewhat of my not the top dream car, but like real below it. But it's like that machine isn't worth it. It's really not worth it. Like it's not gonna. It might make me happy when I drive it, but after I park it and I look at these bills and everything, it's not worth it to me.
Not. And see, in your book, that was when you talked about being frugal versus being cheap.
Yes.
That's being frugal and not being cheap as some people would think. Like you really have to consider everything that comes with that car, and like you said, is it really worth it to put yourself in that amount of debt for what, some people 5 to 10 years. I've seen people break their backs trying to make car payments for what, 7 years, and it kills their pockets just for them to pay the car off. Then the car
Yeah.
break down, they got to get a new car, and they start the cycle all over again.
Yeah. Or it's like even with leasing, like a lot of we've been having conversations, me and my boys, or whatever, about leasing a car versus financing a car. And it's like leasing a car, that's really only for like rich people or people with money already. Because if you lease a car versus financing a car, if you lease a car for 3 years versus financing a car for 3 years, after that 3 years of financing, you'll own the car.
Hmm.
If you But if you lease that car for 3 years, you're gonna have to give that car back or make some type of buyout to pay more on it. So at the end of the day, after leasing, you never really own it. It's someone like leasing an apartment. You never own that. It's never yours. It's really
Right.
like a long-term rental. And like I emphasize that. Like a lot of guys say, like, "Oh, I'm not financing. I'll just lease it, or I'll wait till I get the money to buy it." Like, if you get the money, if you get, let's say, at our age in the 30s, like a nice car is like 50 to like 75,000, like
Okay.
a really nice car. If you have 50 to $75,000 cash, there's no way you should go out and spend that amount of money on a car, especially if you have good credit. Because if you have good credit, that 50 to $75,000 car, you can just sign your name and drive off the lot and keep that 50, $75,000 in your pocket,
Hmm.
and then invest it to pay to make more than the actual payment in the interest.
Okay.
Because it's like if you just give away your 50, $75,000, let's be realistic. Most people don't get that type of lump sum or can save that amount in a lifetime. So it's like if you
Right.
get that, you should invest in something smart, like a business or real estate, something stable where you know you're going to get a return, rather than a car that's going to depreciate. Like
Right.
it's just not right.
Yeah. And that's something else that I don't think we know more about, which is like getting a return on your investment. Like you invest in something, you want to see a return from that. You shouldn't just
Yeah,
continuously be putting money out, because at that point you're just investing money and you're not seeing anything come back from it.
that's like what you said with when you started investing in the stock market. Like
Yeah.
it's a big fad right now with like they call the new people the Robin Hood investors.
Yeah.
And they Nah, Robinhood, it's a good app. I don't knock it. I use it too.
That's me.
It's accessible. But the thing is, like I told you, like you should do your research, because it's like a lot of companies or investors they'll with millions and millions, like they could put in a group chat in one of these Facebook groups or something like that on Clubhouse to tell
Hmm.
people who really is not educated on stock, oh, get that stock, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up. Now they just bought this stock for a really low price, but they might have invested maybe like a couple 100,000, maybe a
Yes,
million.
yes,
They
yes.
have that to play with, rather than somebody who only can invest maybe a few hundred or a few thousand, and then the stock shoots up because people aren't doing their
Research.
education about it, and then these millionaires and everything, after it shoots up, they make their money, they
They
sell it,
take
they're
their
out,
money out, don't.
and then it drops.
That
So it's
happened
like
to
you,
me. That happened to me. Or you hear about this stock and everybody's going crazy, and then you get in, but by the time you get in, people done made their money and pulled their money out, and now you done, it's just continuously
yeah,
dropping. Yeah, had that experience too. I the beginning I was doing a lot. I've scaled back. I'm trying to be a little more smart about what I'm investing in, where I'm holding my money, what I'm selling or whatever, because I was just like, all right, starting to lose some money here. This
yeah.
this ain't the plan.
My
So
advice, my advice would be to just invest in companies that you use or
yeah.
that you use daily or that you have been seeing since you're a kid. Because these companies,
Yeah.
these big companies that we've been seeing since kids, like FedEx, UPS,
Okay.
Johnson Johnson,
They're gonna be
uh,
around.
yeah, and then like new companies like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, and all that, they're never going away.
Yeah.
That like these companies, they're making extremely large amount of money and they're never going away. Now, I don't advise like to do the small stocks and everything. Just those stocks. Like even if you can't buy a full share, like Robinhood, it gives you an option to buy partial, a
Yeah.
dollar. So,
Yeah. Okay. I think with the I tried the, what is it, the penny stocks one time, and that was a disaster. I was just like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, put all
yeah,
this money in there, and then they just constant, just going down, going down. So I was like, all right, I'm done with that. But
yeah,
I think I've been doing good with choosing like which stocks to invest in, and really just leaving it alone, because I was so obsessed at one point. I was checking it multiple times a day. If it went down $1 to, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm losing money. But I'm like, you know what, I just have to stop looking at it altogether. Maybe once a week, twice a week, but that's it, and stop worrying about it. Because I know it's like you should only put in however much you're willing to lose. Like,
yeah,
if you put in too much and you know you're not comfortable with losing that much, then you're gonna be heartbroken, because you never know. You never know
yeah,
what could happen in a day. So
yeah. But you never want to lose money anyway on no type of investment.
I don't want to lose $5. Okay,
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
I need all my money.
Yeah,
But is there anything else that you want to touch on, talk about, share with the people? Again, this is Carmel Shabazz. Make sure that you pick up his book on Amazon. It is called Urban Credit. It is an ebook, a great ebook, quick read. And if you are looking to just learn more about finances, financial literacy, this is definitely a book that you want to pick up. And it's a Black author, so why not support?
yes,
Right?
please. We
But
need to support each other a lot more. And I totally appreciate you reaching out and asking me to do this, because it was like when you sent me that message, I'm like I was like, wow, I was in shock. I was happy. Like I feel like I won a lottery. I'm like,
cut it
oh,
out.
somebody's actually interested. I'm like, wow.
Listen, I tell people all the time, you never know who's watching you. Like, you never
Yeah,
know. And sometimes people may not even say anything. They may not like, share, comment on any of your stuff, but trust
yeah,
and believe they are watching you. And so as soon as I
yeah,
saw that you had a book, like, I already see the things that you're doing. And that's why I was saying earlier, like, I'm just proud of you and like where you're going with this. But as soon as I saw you had a book, I was like, yep, schedule. All right, let me send him a message. Got to get him on, because we got
thank
to
you.
support each other. But I see the work that you're doing, and it's very, you're not being selfish with this information, because some people, unfortunately, in our community, they'll know all of this and hold on to it for themselves, because
Yeah,
they don't want to see somebody else level up like them.
yeah.
So the fact that you're like dropping it out there for people, you're promoting it, it needs to be, shared with others. So
I
yeah.
want this to be a common talk. Like I'd rather talk about stocks, real estate, and business and finances and credit rather than talking about Gucci, Louis, Jordan, and all this stuff. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like if I could spark something into someone's brain, like let's say for you, I could spark something in your brain. You all the way down in DC, you might walk past like a real estate investment. You'd be like, hey, cuz, like, how can I do this? How can I get in? Or
Right.
do you want to be a part of this? And it's like, okay, I'm in it. I'm researching it. I'm bringing my resources. You're bringing your resources.
Right.
We're coming together and we're building. And that's the way our community needs to be. Like I've really emphasized on that. Like I show a lot of like black owned businesses like love and everything. Like for instance, this picture right here,
Yeah.
my boy
Is that
Shaheed,
Shaheed? Yes.
yeah, at
Chandler
Unique,
from
I believe,
Chandler.
yeah, I believe it's Unique Touch at
Yeah.
IG he's on, and also like this shirt is like a custom made shirt by my cousin Sharif H4L on Instagram. Like
Okay.
everything is black owned for me. Like people be preaching and saying everything is black owned, support black businesses, but I put the money into it. Like if I see something of quality that I think is worth it, I'm not gonna ask for no discount. I'm not gonna ask for no hookup, no nothing.
Right. That
Like
part.
yo, what's your price? Like I make like humbly, I make a significant amount of money to provide for me and my family in a lifestyle that I want and I'm gonna build on. But I also want to share that experience with everyone around me. Like
Right.
I don't want to be like it's no fun. Like it's no. I hear rappers say that it's there's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
It's no fun at the top. And being black, you really never gonna be at the top.
Gotcha.
Like what is it? Jay-Z, Oprah, and now they say Kanye is like
That's
billionaires.
it.
It's like 650 something billionaires, trillionaires in this country, and we only got three.
Yeah.
It's like
And we
it's
be
like
proud about them three, but it's like, dang, where's everybody else?
yeah. Exactly. Like it's gonna take a whole village and everything for us to really come together and like show our next generation the right thing to do and everything. So
Yeah.
I'd rather put positive energy out and all that rather than bad energy and everything because I just feel as though like it comes back on you when you have bad energy and then
Yeah.
if you know me, I'm always smiling. I'm always happy. Like nobody can really tell a bad day from me, a good day, cause it's like
Look, that's since we were young. I don't think I don't. When we were young, I don't even think I've ever seen you get mad about anything. Like it just, we used to be
yeah,
like, Carmel just always happy. Like what? Just always.
yeah,
Like I don't think I've ever even seen you angry or upset or anything. And if you did, you just had a different way of showing or expressing it. So
yeah. That came from like early childhood trauma, like me losing my
yeah.
grandmother at an early age. Like I learned to like I think I don't know if I ever told you this, but a lot of people don't know this. Like I had like somewhat it was like a allergic reaction to a nervous breakdown. Like my whole body was in hives at like 12 or 13 because
For
the
real?
doctor said, yeah, because of my grandmother dying and other like family issues, like I was a stress box. And
Wow.
after that, it was like I don't care about nothing. Like
Yeah.
nothing could phase me now. Like I made it through that, nothing could phase me. Even if I am having a bad day, I try to find the little things that make me happy. And it's like also with my with religion of Islam and everything, like I always find the good even in a bad day stressful because like a lot of people never even like Lyndon wasn't bad, but it's a lot of people that never even made it to be 33. So it's like
A
I'm
lot
not,
of
I'm not
people.
gonna sit down. I'm not gonna sit here and just slap people in the face and be ungrateful and everything. Like I'm gonna do me, but I'm gonna be humble and try to spread the word and be
Yeah.
happy, and be appreciative about everything. Because being black, like even if you're a black millionaire, you're only really like you're really still. They try to keep us as second class citizens. So it's like you see what they did to Bill Cosby at his age, like like
And they do that to all of our people that reach that pinnacle or that point.
yeah,
They have to remind you, don't forget where you come from and who you are. Like it
yeah,
reminds you that they still have that power over you, and that's what we've been
exactly.
seeing a lot. Yeah.
So instead of taking that, instead of adding on to like the stress and like all these rappers and entertainers be like they have haters and this like that,
Like,
like
what's a hater, right? You're 30 something, 40
yeah,
something. Who still got haters?
yeah, like just be happy. Like if somebody don't like what you're doing, who cares? It's like somebody's gonna like it. Do
Yeah.
you be happy? Ain't
Yeah.
nobody make you happy like you're gonna make yourself happy.
And it takes time for people to get to that point. for some people it comes easy like that, and for others it may take a little bit of time. You know, you may be
Yeah.
easily stressed, easily pushed to be upset or get angry. It takes work. So like, I know for myself, I'm easily stressed. I'm a worry box. That's just how it is with me. But I know I have to be patient with myself and patient to get to work to get to that point. So it takes a
Yeah.
little bit of time for some of us, but I do appreciate you for sharing that. Um, and just coming on and sitting here and chatting about your book. And, I just want to make sure that people know what you're talking about. I'm going to be sharing this still, even after it's posted. I'm going to like do snippets and post it on Instagram and stuff. And for anyone that shares it and someone asks like, how can they watch it? It'll be posted on my YouTube, which I'll put up soon, but I'll attach it to the video as well. So, and we can always do this again. It doesn't have to be about just the book. We can just have a talk about a particular subject dealing with finances or credit or whatever. Because again, I'm gonna keep saying this, you need to go ahead and put yourself out there more.
Yeah.
So I'll be
I
looking.
will
I'm already
definitely look
I'm
into
speaking that for
it.
2021. We're going to see you doing your own seminars, and you are going to be talking to people and educating people and doing some public speaking.
Okay.
Let's
I'm, I'm,
go. Get the
I'm,
ball
I'm gonna
rolling.
say it to you. I'm gonna work on it. I'm definitely gonna work on it. Now that you said that, it's gonna be emotion.
Yes, get the ball rolling. And is there anything else that you wanted to touch on before we jump off?
Um, I don't know. Uh,
No,
I'm really new to this. Like, I'm
it's
new to
fine.
this.
You did great today. We talked about a lot. Like, you was dropping the gem. So it was really, really good. Like, we
Yeah.
had a great time. We talked about a lot today. I'm sure a lot of people got some good information. Let me just go back and see. There were some comments coming up. Let's see what. Yes, your wife was all in the comments. I love it. um, so Kevin said, unfortunately, some parents' goal is to get their kids out of the house for college, military, etc., but don't give their kids the tools to survive. That's very true, because
Big.
when you think about it, right? I feel like Black people, I feel like we're the only ones that push our kids out. Like, by 17, 18, you better be out my house, you better have a job, you better have this. Other
Yeah.
cultures, they don't do that. They like to keep their
Yeah.
kids home until they get married. Like, stay here, go to college, you
Exactly.
don't gotta pay no bills, no school loans, go to school, and when you get your husband or you find your wife, then you
Yeah.
can leave. Like, we don't
How,
set our kids up for success.
but that ties into like finances and credit, because it's like these parents and everything, like even though rent and mortgages and house everything used to be really cheap in the 90s and 80s, like they have to deal with our type of bills. But it's
Yeah.
like they ignored the financial literacy. Like, I ain't gonna say it was hidden, but a lot of people just rather party or hide they pain with just unnecessary spending and
Yeah.
everything. It's like some people just shouldn't be parents. Like, some people, like, I just gotta say that some people just shouldn't be parents, because it's like this is a child that you made. Like, you're responsible their entire life as long as you're alive about them. Like,
Yeah.
and to kick them out, like, I've seen people, like close people, friends, family, like push their kids out the house. I wasn't pushed out the house, but
Yeah.
it was like I seen that, and I seen what that did to people. And that's another thing, like, that drives people into debt at an early age,
It
because
does.
if you really think about it, I don't care what type of image, what type of persona people might present or anything, but between the ages of 18 and, I would say, I'm gonna be honest, like 30, between 18 and 30, like coming from urban America, people don't got it. They don't have it.
Yeah.
They might say they got it. They might look like they got it, but at the end of the day, they really ain't got it. They
Yeah.
don't have it. And it's like you spending all this money, you're trying to keep up with an image, and you just don't have it, and you dig yourself in a hole, and that hole usually be ending with bankruptcy, um, passing down to your children
Children.
bad spending habits.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Because if you think about it, like back in the, what is it, like 30s, in the 20s and all that, like
Mhm.
black families, like owning your own home, having like 5 kids, like that was like the status symbol in a Cadillac. Like how did it go from family values and all that to single parents, um, bad spending habits, all
Yeah.
this?
And
Yeah,
we know a lot of that is historical too, and a lot of it contributes to the system and
yeah,
systemic racism and stuff. Like that's a whole nother story. But it was
yeah,
it was definitely by design because, like you said, back then we had that stability. We were building and we had businesses. We were doing these things together, collectively. Um, but by design, that was kind of destroyed, and now here we are, just very much divisive, and everyone else is like hopping on board together and doing collective economics, and we are so far behind. But
yeah,
I think I feel like we're getting there, especially our generation. Like I feel like we are taking that step to do better and want more for our lives and our children. I can't speak for everybody, but I think a lot of us are.
yeah. We
um
are. It's a
how do you
lot of people. Go
how do
ahead.
you say your wife's name? I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
Sadia.
Sadia, that's so pretty. Sadia said, "What is a good credit score to have in your late 20s and early 30s?"
Now she definitely knows, but I'm glad she's
She
pumping the
posted it
juice
for
and
the
actually.
people.
Yeah, but in your 20s, like I would say a good 725 to 750 is a good credit score. Like you
Ooh,
should have that from like 21 to like really, I would say about 28, like between 20 to like 28. After you
okay.
hit that 28 mark, that's when you should start trying to hit that 800 credit score, because when you hit over that 805 credit score, life becomes so much easier and smoother. You never hear the word no. You don't
Yeah.
you don't hear the word maybe, nothing. Like you set the rules. When you got 805 credit score, like you could go into any store. I don't care if it's car dealership, realty place, furniture, or whatever. If you see something, as long as you got your ID, you know your social, you
Right.
can take anything you want home with it. Like that's
Wow.
it.
And see, that's the life. That's what everybody needs to strive to get, because somebody telling you no based on three numbers, that
Yeah,
does not feel good at all.
it
So,
does.
yeah, that's not at all.
And we definitely like I touched on that authorized user thing. Like I see a lot of people on Instagram and Facebook selling trade lines and stuff, which is somewhat illegal. But family and friends, they can add people as
What's a
authorized
trade
users.
line?
It's adding someone as an authorized user on your
But
credit card.
but they're paying you to do so.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
People do
that's like,
that.
yeah, that's a big thing. That's the big thing, because it's like a person like me, my average credit limit on a credit card might be like, my lowest is 5,000.
Mhm.
I have like 20,000 and somewhat higher in corporate cards too as well.
Okay.
But the average person with like okay 680 to 720 credit score, their
Mhm.
highest card limit might be $1,000. And like I said, with that pair of sneakers, like you're gonna go over that 30% utilization, which is gonna hurt your score. But let's say
Right.
you have like let's say you have like maybe a few cards, you have like $100,000.
Mhm.
Now that pair of sneakers is okay. You could buy a pair of sneakers.
It's like chump change.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I did not know people were doing that. Like I see it all the time. I can help you fix your credit repair. So that's what they're doing. Like I'll put you on my credit and you just pay me X amount of dollars.
yeah.
Wow.
That's really
And that's
that's
illegal, you said?
it's not. I don't think it's illegal. I think it's somewhat unethical,
Okay.
because you're supposed to only use it with friends and family.
Family. Okay.
Yeah, so I would say I don't think it's illegal, but I don't do it because I don't like dealing with strangers like that much. So
It's not trustworthy. I wouldn't want to do that either. Anything can
yeah,
happen.
like I had a lot of my like my sisters and a few of my, even my cousins and my wife, of course, and I plan on adding my daughter now, who's only 6 months, so she could have an amazing credit score. Like it's just helping like the next person, and that's
Yeah.
what, like, pay it forward. Like I went through the struggle, you shouldn't have to go through the struggle too. Like Jay-Z said that.
Yeah.
So it's like, just pass it, pay it forward.
So
That's
if
what I'm
you
talking about.
have children, nieces, nephews, close friends, relatives, basically Kamal is saying like we should be helping them out if they want to help themselves. I will say that,
Yeah.
not just doing it, but if they want to help themselves and they're trying to build their credit, put them on your credit as an authorized user. Of course, if your credit is good, can't have you out here with 500s or whatever and you putting somebody else in jeopardy. But if you are
Yeah.
managing your credit well and you see someone that's working on theirs, help them out and put them on your credit on under your credit cards. You can do that. So that is a good tip. Well, this was great. I'm not gonna
Yes.
hold you any longer. I'm gonna let you get back
Yeah.
to your family.
Yes.
And again, we can always hop back on and talk about another topic. But thank you again for taking the time to join this call, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate
I appreciate you as well.
it. And I look forward to your seminars. I'll be holding you to that.
Okay. You'll be the first one there.
Good. Thank you. Because I'm going to be signed up sitting right there like, yes, what? But yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great
You
week.
too.
And I will talk to you soon. Bye,
All
Sadia.
right.
Bye.
Bye.